Music plays an important role in my life, and lately I've been kinda obsessing about it, so I decided to draw some music related things. Initially when I started this project, I didn't have anything in mind. I just found a cool reference of a guitar and wanted to draw it. Then I realized I could make a whole series of drawings about musical instruments and turn them into posters or wallpapers, and maybe people who play them will find cool and use it. So I grabbed my pen and started working. A band can have a lot of instruments, but I decided to focus on just 4: guitar, drums, bass, and the vocals. We already have the first drawing, the guitar. It was only after I drew it that I decided I was going to make this project, so now we only have 3 to go. I'll divide this process in 2 parts. The first one, making the illustrations, and the second, turning them into posters. Since this first drawing was done in a square canvas, I decided to keep the rest this way to make all of them look uniform. I still need to draw 3 other instruments so we can turn them into posters. So let's continue with the drums. I started blocking some shapes to get a sense of the composition and where things go, and then I made a quick sketch using some lines to define these shapes better. And to finish, it's time to add some colors. The second drawing is finished and 50% is done. Now it's time for the next one, the bass. This time I started only with the lines without making any shapes, and it also worked out really well. I drew a few lines and now it's time to start coloring it. For this one I wanted to go for some cool tones and decided to stick with violet as its main color. I really like the text on the bass in this one, which came from a cool reference I used. The red is a nice addition to these violet tones and shades, and speaking of red, because I made the first drawing with some blood stains, I decided to make this a common element and drawing the rest of them too. Anyway, the third drawing is done, let me show you the result. I love the mood and energy of this one, and I think it's really different from the others. 3 of them are done and now there's only 1 drawing left, so we can finally start making the posters. For the voice, I made a close-up of the mouth instead of drawing the whole face to focus on the action. I think I could have rendered it a little better, but I was in a hurry, so it's not that bad either. Each one of these took me like 2 to 3 hours to make. It was actually pretty fast for me. But anyway, after a few lines and colors, it's finally done, and let me show you the last illustration. Now that we have the 4 illustrations finished and ready to go, I'm gonna switch to Photoshop and turn them into posters. I confess that I forgot to record most of this part and only had the process of 1 of them, but it's basically the same thing for each one, only changing some phrases and details. Let me show you. I decided to set the canvas the size of a smartphone screen to turn them into wallpapers because I wasn't going to print these this time, so I wanted to be able to use it digitally, and I think this is a nice application. I used the Liquify tool to make it more dynamic, downloaded some cool fonts, a little bit of adjustments here and there, wrote a cool phrase, and that's it. I repeated the same process for each one of the other posters. Now let me show you the final result of this project. The 4 posters finally finished. I liked each one of them, but I think the bass and the drums wallpapers are my favorites. I just really like the mood of them. Tell me which one do you like the most in the comments, and also feel free to use them if you want. I'm gonna put a link on the description where you can download them. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and consider subscribing for more content, and until the next one, bye!